when it got cold all of a sudden. I should go get a fucking jacket. This is gonna be a dark video because I'm outside and not near the light. And actually, I could probably use the light from my laptop, maybe. I didn't flip my camera though. I'm gonna have to. Nah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Yeah. I want it to be dark because this is gonna be a video where I'm just talking mostly to myself, and I really don't want it to be entertaining because it's mostly for myself anyways, so it's fucking 5:09 in the morning. Oh fuck, it's August 19th. Holy shit. Holy shit. You know, in less than 2 years, I'm gonna have to start marking the box that says between the ages of 35 and 40. Holy shit, that's insane, man. I'm gonna be closer to 40 than 30. Oh my god. That's kind of terrifying to me for many reasons. Not just because of the fact that you're getting old, your mortality is looking at you closer in the face, but because of the fact that I gotta get my ass moving already, man. I gotta, like, I'm just so stuck in this fucking emotional turmoil inside of me. I can't let go of it. I can't, like, I let go of it and it just, like, it's like a fucking open wound. It just keeps hurting, just keeps growing and coming back. I can't get rid of it. I can't. So I'm just trying to maintain it and learn to control it as much as possible to the point where I can, you know, stand toe to toe with one of these or all of these psychopaths that are in charge and that have, you know, their external lives put together, and they seem, you know, like they got their head on screwed right, and, you know, they're really just fucking just extremely disturbed within themselves, within their mind. Their emotional turmoil is just off the charts compared to what I'm going through right now, but they have it more in control than I do. Mostly because they let the negative sides of themselves rule. And when you have negative sides of yourself ruling, it's a lot easier to control yourself because you tell that negative part of yourself, you know, oh, don't worry, like, we'll handle this later. You deal with it in your own way, in your own fucked up way, whatever that may be. But you deal with it. Whereas when you're, you know, letting your positive side run the show more, it's like you try to process everything going on a lot more deeply. And I don't know why the fuck I'm sounding like Jack Nicholson right now. I guess I'm reaching that level of crazy. Fuck. Holy shit, man. Holy fucking shit. He's just a person like me and you. He's just a regular human being with a mind on his shoulders. I wonder if you, like, fans of Jack Nicholson, I guess, or just people that look up to him. I wonder if you would see him differently if you realized that he was actually a child molester himself. Or if he was actually molested himself as well, and hence the reason why he's a child molester. I wonder if that would change your opinions at all about him and his movies and just Hollywood in general. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. I'm not saying he is, so don't start taking that as a conspiracy that I'm believing or thinking at all. I'm not thinking that. It's just a hypothetical question I was asking. I had a teacher that apparently was a child porn distributor. I don't know if he made money off of it or what, but apparently he had his whole stack of child porn. And he was, like, at one point, my favorite teacher. Like, you know, when they ask you those questions when you're, like, filling out login information and you have to have the security questions that you gotta answer, and you have to put, you know, who was your favorite teacher? Because they asked that question a lot. Well, I would always put his name because he was my favorite teacher. Up to the point that I found out he was a child porn distributor. You know, in a way though, I'm kind of like, that hurt me a lot when I found that out. I'm not gonna lie. I cried about it, of course. Fucking cry about everything. But after, you know, putting more thought into it and contemplating it myself, I came to the conclusion that his opinion of life and how unfair it is doesn't affect me anymore the way it used to. Because I used to think he would always say life is unfair. Like, that's just the way life is. It's unfair. Like, that he had this, like, just very pessimistic philosophy about it, and I always thought it was sad, but, you know, maybe he had a point to what he was saying. Life is just unfair a lot. But then, after realizing, you know, how fucked up he actually is in the head, I'm starting to, and realizing how fucked up all these fucking people in charge are in their heads, I've come to realize that they're not the best people to be taking life advice from. So I shouldn't take his pessimistic view as something to take into consideration when I'm analyzing my life and everything going on in it. And neither should anybody else when it comes to these fucking psychopaths who are making our lives living hells, raising our tax rates and fucking charging us for everything. Soon we're gonna be charged air to breathe once they contaminate the fucking world to the point where we're all in little bubbles and not breathing outside air. Sounds crazy, right? Look at China, what's going on there right now. just so sick and tired of everybody's negative attitude towards people who are trying to change the world and do better, make things better. I'm fucking so sick and tired of it. Like, it just upsets me beyond my control at times. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm just straight out calling people stupid and calling them and their ideas stupid. Once they reach a point where I know it's just gonna the conversation is gonna boggle down into some idiotic left-right debate, and then it's just gonna come down to all their prejudices and their categories of different labels that they have within themselves and people in the world outside of them and how it affects their point of view. And I'm just gonna have to be breaking down every little fucking bit of information to let them know why they're thinking the way they're thinking and how it's fucking toxic. And then, finally get to a point where they can understand why voting outside a corrupt party is the best choice, regardless of whatever the fucking mainstream media narrative is trying to throw down their fucking throats. Then, I can calm down a bit and I'll resort less to name calling and stuff. But once it gets to that point where I'm just gonna have to be breaking down everything, it's like I'm not gonna waste my fucking time with you right now. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm just gonna call you what you are. You're fucking stupid. You're brainwashed. You're fucking retarded as fuck. And I don't give a fuck that you get offended by what I'm saying. You've offended me with your fucking ignorance and your stupidity. Your willful stupidity at times. I feel like people are just being fucking willfully stupid because they're just being fucking whatever, little compartmentalized fucking insults they have or targeting they're doing to a certain group of people or things. I'm mad at myself a lot too because I didn't know more about this shit growing up. I had people try and tell me stuff every so often, but I was fucking brainwashed myself, like hardcore brainwashed. Fucking super hardcore patriot, like fucking put your goddamn hand on your heart right now. My national anthem is playing, motherfucker, or I'll fucking get in your face type of brainwashed. That was how brainwashed I was. I was a military wife. Okay, I lived on a fucking military base where you had to stop every so often whenever they'd play colors on the loudspeaker and you'd have to pay your respects to the fallen. I fucking was a hardcore brainwashed person at one point. But now I'm not. Now I know the truth of everything, of how things are and why things are so secretive in the military. It's not because it's for their safety. It's not because it's for the safety of our fucking men and women who are overseas to keep them safe. No, that's not what it's for. It's not. It's to keep people in the dark of actually what they're doing over there, of what is actually the narrative, what's going on, what the reason why they're going over there. It's not to fucking help people, save people. It's for control, it's for power, it's for resources, for greed. That's what it's for. And so many people know this to a certain degree, yet they still don't it doesn't upset them enough to want to go out and make a change and do something about it. At least, at the very least, write an angry email to the president, or the the chief of staff, or whoever's in charge right now. It's I have done that before. Once you start doing stuff like that, you start being targeted. They monitor you. They start monitoring you. It's not like a conspiracy anymore or anything. It happens. It's happened to me, and it's happened to other people I know that try to speak out and reach out to people in charge. Instead of taking into account your concerns and what you're saying, all they do is fucking turn an eye on you and fucking look at what you're doing, try to intimidate you. It's very upsetting. Very upsetting. It pisses me off. Pisses me the fuck off. I'm getting to that point already where, yeah, I'm getting stronger, and I'm gonna start really raking in the resources. I already have all my businesses lined up. Once I'm at 100%, where I'm every day, just from the crack of dawn when I open my eyes till the fucking minute they're just forcing themselves closed, when I'm just working constantly every minute of the day, every second of the day. Yeah, my resources are just gonna manifest themselves within a year or two, probably less. And I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna start really taking on all of these motherfuckers. Not just here in my city, but in the state, in the country, in the fucking world. I'm gonna fucking go after all of them. All these corrupt nations that are controlling their people through fear, through force, through death. All of them, they're all gonna come to an end by the time I'm done. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It's gonna take a while. Maybe not so much if the universe just starts to play itself out and I don't have to do that much work for it to all start happening. That would be great. But we'll see. You'll see. I'm gonna talk for a little bit about the lost souls here, because I feel like it's appropriate. Oh, sorry, I'm messaging somebody on Facebook. I don't know who it is. Some dude. Timothy Frankenstein. His name is spelled with an E, not an O. Why? Time Thy Frankenstein. Anyways, the lost souls here on this planet are basically star seeds and light workers, uh, indigo children. They're all souls that were sent here on a mission to help transform this world into what it was always meant to be, which is not the fucking nasty piece of shit that currently exists right now, but a world where magic was basically in line with science, where science and magic were one, where science and magic are one. And yeah, they tend to, I mean, they're in a human body. It's hard. It's fucking hard being a human. It is difficult as fuck. You have to, especially if you're born into a storyline where there's a lot of trauma and there's a lot of pain that you have to transmute, that you have to work through. It's very, very, very difficult. And not a lot of them can handle it. A lot of them choose to leave, to abort their mission because it's just too difficult. It's not what they anticipated. And it's horrible because they're lost. They feel alone. They feel like there's no one else, out there in their life that's helping them, that cares about them, that they just lose the sense of what the whole purpose was to come here and complete this mission for. They lose all sense of that because they just can't see any value or purpose or meaning in anything, and it just becomes to the point where they see suicide or drugs as a way of escape, and they rather have that escape than continue to try and figure out the puzzle of this thing we call life. And I've had a couple friends that have lost their lives to suicide or drugs, and it's not they weren't like really really close friends, so I thankfully it wasn't that bad of a grieving process for me. But I know I have friends that are struggling with that right now, and I have family as well that is struggling with that, and it's really hard to try and reach out to people like that when you yourself are on the cusp of that feeling constantly. And you're afraid that you might just drag them down with you sometimes, so you try not to offer too much advice or anything. But I want to offer advice and help people like that, the lost souls, the lost star seeds that are here. I want to help them because I know once they're at their 100% capacity, oh man, this transformation is just gonna really kick into high gear. And it's happened with a lot of people that I know, friends of mine also that were once in the pits of hell, we should say, with their feelings of loneliness and drug addiction and despair, and they're starting to make a name for themselves and come out of it by creating a safe space for themselves where they can be completely at peace and happiness. Well, at least at whatever level they allow themselves to be, without having the outside world come in and negatively affect you because you don't have your own safe space. So I'm very hopeful. Very hopeful. And I'm also still worried about the ones that are still struggling hard. I'm struggling hard, but I'm getting stronger, so I don't consider myself as down in the hole as I was before. Like, before, my daughter, I would wake up and every day just contemplate suicide. I made a video of that before, how I was at that point, in my life, and I felt like every day I wake up and I just want to kill myself. Like, I just want to fucking be out of here, of this planet. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, every fucking day I'd wake up with that thought. And, now that I have my daughter, it's not an option for me, so I don't let that thought or those thoughts come into my head anymore. The feelings behind them might be lingering around within me still, but that thought, that finality of, killing myself doesn't come into my mind like that anymore. It might, like, float around there whenever I'm angry and whenever I'm, being told to leave and feeling like I'm just doing everybody more harm than good. That, it might start floating back over my head in those moments, but I know I'm not going to do it, like, regardless of how angry I am. I know I'm not going to do it because my daughter would, really be negatively affected by that, and I'm not going to do that to her. I'd be basically killing a part of her if I did that, and I'm not going to do that, so it's not an option. So I don't consider myself as deep in the hole anymore as before she saved me from that. Even though she came here for her daddy to save him, that's her. That was her purpose for reincarnating. And I don't mean to brag or anything, but I'm pretty sure Marco would have been gone by now if I wasn't here anymore. Or if I would have never come into his life. Or someone like me that was sent here with a mission. And people talk about how great God is and how having him in your life will make everything so much better. Wow. I understand what they're saying. I don't agree with it. But that's because I see God as a different being, I guess, than most of these other people that worship him wholeheartedly and without reservation. I see him a lot differently. I don't see him as an omnipotent, all-knowing being. I see him as an entity that's somewhat omnipotent in the sense that he obviously is higher intelligence than us, but he's not the ultimate creator, the creator of the universe, the creator of the entire universe. The God that people worship here, anyways, he's not. That God is, well, I'd call him an interdimensional alien being, and he's the creator, or one of the creators of this world, this planet, but again, not the universe, or this species, I guess you could say, the humans. But the universe is the God of the universe is not. It's more like you could compare it to like the computer in the Matrix, like the computer itself. It's more of a logical functioning. It's it has certain rules that it abides by. Certain functions to bring about the colors and shapes and whatnot that we see, and everything that we don't see. So it's more of a force than the force. It's not, the God that's worshipped in the Bible. That God is a completely different entity.